fern in here. Welcome back to Pond Season 2, guys. Today we're going to be filling up this greenhouse with a ton of really awesome plants. Just got back from Lowe's with like $400 worth of stuff, so it should be a really fun day. It's going to be a long day. We also have our little stones here. We're going to make our path, so we're doing a lot. If you guys want to watch all of the Pond Season 2 videos in order, there's a link for a playlist with everything down in the description. So yeah, we got to get started. There's a ton of stuff here. I don't know the names of a lot of these plants. We got these yesterday, and the rest of everything else besides the ground cover came in today. So we'll kind of take a look at those as we go through this whole process. I don't really know how much I'm gonna show because I have to think kind of a lot, like while I'm doing this, where I want things to be and stuff like that. So I don't really know how this video is gonna go, but by the end of it, you should see more or less the finished product, and I think it's gonna be really, really cool. Is that who I think it is? Oreo? Oh, buddy! Did I scare you? Sorry, bud. What's going on? Where you been? You gonna help me today? You gonna help me do some work? I am not a cat person, right? Like, I don't know a lot about cats. Is it okay if they drink pond water? So we got the stone pathway kind of in place here, guys. Just kind of did a little narrow spot here, and then it spreads out as you get closer to the pond. But the Corsican mint here, I'm spreading out more of it in between the stones because I eventually want, you know, them to fill in here, so it's all, you know, you can't even see the soil. That would be the end goal at least. But we have a ton of plants in here, and we're trying to figure out the best places for them. So we have these big, I believe they're Majesty Ferns. They're in the back. They're still in the pots, as well as everything else that we've added. So we have a fern over here on the left. I don't know if you can see that. But we're just trying to figure out where the best placement for some of these things are, because again, a lot of them are going to grow, and like the ferns, they can get really tall. I think like 12 feet, you know. They obviously don't have that kind of room in here, but we'll just have to go with it and see what happens. I don't know what any of these plants are called, so I'm going to point at them and just say red plant or green plant or whatever, guys. But we have a lot of choices to make, right? So we have these red plants over here that, you know, they eventually get like 2 by 2. So when they're full grown, that may or may not work, but as it stands right now, we just have to put them somewhere and hope that they work out. So over here we have these two guys on each side, and hopefully what they do is grow up tall, and they kind of have a little bit of an ivy-like feature to them, but they also get really big. So what I want to have happen is, like, you open the doors to the greenhouse, the plants just kind of surrounding you over here, or he's going to come in here and get a drink. Hey buddy, let's get this fern in here. Oh, that looks good. Is that a good spot? Alright. I think it looks good. Backfill this thing. That should look really nice next to the pond there with the wood kind of poking out there on the sides. I think that's going to look real good. And we need to get another one of these. I want to put another one over on the other side just to help round it out. But I think these ferns just go really well with the whole theme that we have going here. And they take up a lot of space, which is really nice. Hey buddy, you want to go live in the greenhouse? Come on. Oh my god. Alright guys, it's the next day. We have even more plants in here. Went to Lowe's and grabbed another one of these Boston ferns, another Majesty palm, and I'm trying to figure out where these are going to fit in here. So I haven't planted this palm quite yet because I don't know if I want it in the middle there or if I want it over there. Maybe I want this one to be over here. We definitely need to have big tall things up on the side here, but I also want to put a palm in the center because we can fully take advantage of the height it's going to get. I just really like the view walking in here, having the two ferns on either side to kind of close in this space a little bit. We obviously still have a lot of work to do over here with the ground cover in between the stones, but I have plenty of plants for that. I also picked up some coleus to just kind of sprinkle in there and add some color. We got a little secret right there. But before I do any more planting, I need to install this window because I have a feeling if I fill this whole space in, it's going to be next to impossible to get up here to do work. It's crazy hot today, guys. It's like 100 outside. I have no idea what it is in here in the greenhouse. I'm going to go ahead and pop the shirt and do some work here. Don't worry, I won't make you watch that. There we go, guys. Windows are in place. Didn't actually end up being all that bad. I managed to get both of them done. And, you know, they're a little wonky. Let's roll out here and take a look at the outside. You can see that it's a little tilted. and when it's closed, there's definitely a little gap that's made there. So in the wintertime, when we really need the seal to be good, we'll have to improvise a little bit. But now that we got that done, we can finish up the planting. It's the next day, guys. It's about 1:30 p.m., so that means the sun is basically directly over the greenhouse right now. Everything is looking really good. The sun just illuminates everything in here, and it's perfect viewing time for the plants in the pond. There's one more thing we have to do before this space is a little bit more ready to go. It's still not going to be perfect because we don't have automatic opening and closing windows to maintain a certain temperature in here, but I do want to add a fan to help circulate the air a little bit. I have to keep the doors on the greenhouse closed during the day because deer will come in here, and actually last night you can see there's a little print there from a deer, and then I think if we come over here and look, there's another footprint or something. So they did manage to come in here yesterday when I had the doors open, trying to get as much air in and out of this thing as possible. So we don't want to do that anymore. Luckily they didn't destroy anything. So here I just went and picked up a super small fan. I think this is only like an 8-inch fan from Lowe's, and I would like to have this mounted somewhere up here maybe. I don't know how I'm gonna do that, but for right now I'm just gonna sit it down here on the bottom. But this does require power, guys, and so I haven't really showed this off before, but to get power in here to run the pond pump, which is hiding over there, we have an extension cord that comes from off of the deck up here where there's an outlet, and then here is where we have it connected to the pump. Now unfortunately the pump cord wasn't long enough to where we could connect this outside, which would have been nice. We could have like plugged it in under the deck or something to keep it dry, but what I have here, without moving it too much, we have one of these outdoor moisture protectors that basically it's a clamshell with rubber on each end, and it locks where the connection is inside of this thing, and it's supposed to keep water off of it. Now the only problem with that is that that clamshell protector thing is only meant to go over, you know, two ends plugged into each other. So if we have to plug something else in and use a splitter, then that won't work. We'll have to figure out something else. So for right now, we're just gonna plug in the fan. We're gonna use just a splitter, and then we're gonna have to figure out how we can make that whole thing waterproof. I guess we do have to take this whole thing apart if we're gonna plug the fan in, guys. So here you can see what I'm talking about. There's the housing, and you can see the plug is super clean. Didn't look like there was any moisture or any soil or debris in there, so that's good. Hard to say if this is gonna be enough air. I mean, it feels pretty good. We'll just have to do a before and after temperature check to see how much it really affects the whole oasis here. I did grab some Flex Seal tape, you know, that infomercial stuff. They had it at Lowe's. I don't know if I could use that to cover this whole thing, and that might work. If you guys have a better solution, you know what you're doing. I myself, you know, I'm over here doing my best over here, but if you know a really good way to make that connection waterproof, let me know in the comments below. It would help me out a ton. I think that's pretty much it for today's update video. I hope you enjoyed what this space turned into. I'm really looking forward to just hanging out in here, and of course adding some fish and some other things to the pond. So if you want to be a part of this whole thing and you want to know when those videos come out, as soon as they do, make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell if you haven't already. Consider becoming a channel member or active over on Patreon if you guys want to see additional content and videos on this space. That support really helps out a ton, and it enables me to do more projects like this. So I really appreciate it. Thanks so much for watching, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.